Burger King approached us wanting a unique campaign idea to highlight their partnership with Pepsi across South Africa. Our objective was to create a really fun and interactive brand campaign which promoted Burger King and Pepsi as the winning flavour combination, with their end goal being to increase their brand consideration and ultimately drive footfall and sales over the summer months.
My name is Tyler Smith. I'm an art director from Cape Town, South Africa. My role in this campaign was that of creative lead alongside Chris Edwards. To celebrate the winning combination of Burger King and Pepsi, we created X Marks the Drop, a 360 brand experience campaign with AR-powered virtual drops that offered real-life rewards. Our approach was built around the power and the culture of collaboration, and so to help bring our campaign to life, we created a collab of our own with an exciting local artist, African Ginger. This created hype and drove relevance with our audience. Everyone who played X Marks the Drop stood the chance to win everything from free whoppers and special meal deals to exclusive African Ginger NFTs and his original physical artwork itself. We wanted consumers to break their mundane fast food routines and literally win the day with the winning combo of Burger King and Pepsi.
Hi, I'm Joss, and I was the technical lead on the project for all things virtual. In reality, is a revolutionary software solution blended with a digital state-of-the-art marketing agency. It was created as a cost-efficient, effective, scalable marketing medium for virtual engagement of audiences. Virtual asset token campaigns are essentially where we combine the ability to be able to drop an augmented reality virtual 3D asset into an environment using smart, intelligent GPS locations. So that means we can drop these assets anywhere, at any scale, at any time to engage with different audiences. Once consumers have found their virtual asset token in augmented reality space, which will be hovering in front of them wherever they happen to be, they can then grab that, it gets taken and put into their digital wallet, their web wallet, and then they have the option to either play that or keep it or share it. They can share it with a friend or family, or they can decide to play it. And by clicking on it and playing it, we take them through a play sequence, depending on what we're trying to achieve as the marketing objective. Because virtual asset token campaigns are so engaging, and engage at such a deep level, we get fantastic results and regularly will achieve conversion levels of 50%, play rates of 9% plus, often redemption levels of anywhere between 40 and 70%.
Hey, I'm Chris Edwards. I'm Head of Design at BKx. This project was super exciting to work on because we were designing a look and feel which had to pay respect to two really iconic brand identities. One of the reasons brand collabs are so interesting is that permission to create something really unique. Being loyal and keeping the essence of both brands is absolutely key, but by being brave and pushing the boundaries, that's where we really see the creativity shining through. South Africa is home to some extraordinary creative talent, and African Ginger was carefully selected to produce some awesome campaign portrait art and NFT pieces. Ahead of creating one of the campaign's biggest street murals, we caught up with Seth at his home in Johannesburg to ask him some questions.
I grew up in Johannesburg. Technically, not technically, but I grew up in the south of Johannesburg. So I grew up in like an area called Turpentine, and then I moved to another area called Marbarton, and I spent most of my life there. I moved out when I finished university, so I've been living this side of the world now for about 5-6 years. I discovered my passion for art when I was 5. I was actually very lucky that I got to find my passion at such a young age. I drew all the time, like obsessively. And then I really got into painting. I've actually only been painting for like 2 years. I started painting in the pandemic actually. Murals I've been painting from like 2019, but they weren't as good as I wanted them to be. So I actually was like, let me start painting on canvas to then perfect my mural stuff. And so realistically it'll be 3 years that I've been painting. I went to school in Braamfontein. I went to a school called the National School of the Arts, and I was an art student. And growing up, being in Braamfontein at like 14, before Braamfontein became like Braamfontein, it was still like a very corporate space, but there was like this underbelly of like a lot of graffiti and murals and street art. There used to be this thing that happened every year called City of Gold, where the store Grayscale used to bring a bunch of international street artists or local street artists to Braamfontein and paint like a ton of murals. And when I was a teenager, my best friend and I would like skate around Braamfontein, like looking at all these murals or fitting out tags or painting ourselves, you know. So it started for me at such a young age, getting inspired by street art. The only thing is for me, I couldn't do graffiti because I just don't think I had the stomach for it. Like to go out at like 3 a.m. in town and go bomb. Like you have to be a different type of person to do graffiti, you know? But with street art, I was always so into it, you know, since high school. So I always wanted to do street art, to make street art, but I never had like the tools to do it. It's only now as an adult that I have like there's some synapses connected and it just all makes sense now. So only now as an adult I can actually paint murals, I can, you know, do stuff. Man, art plays, in my opinion, the biggest role. It's the purest element of being human, other than like interacting with each other. It's where love, hate, anger, passion, empathy all kind of blend and meet each other. We can all kind of tap into that experience through that art piece or that song. It kind of defines our humanity, you know. I definitely rate it as important as the medical professions. I think a lot of people don't take art as seriously as they should. A lot of people are like, well, it's just art, but it's more than just art. It's almost spiritual, you know. It's a communication between different humans on a completely different plane. I think collaborations are super important because we're so one. I think as creatives we're also one-tracked. I think with our processes and our thought processes as well. When you make art, this is how, like for me, this is my process, this is how I do it, this is what I do. And for another artist or another brand or another whatever, that's their process, that's their approach, and that's how they do it. But when you collaborate and you put these two ideas together, you as the artist start thinking in a different manner. You start kind of adopting your collaborator's way of thinking and vice versa. And by doing that, you actually are expanding your horizon as a creative and also as an artist. So by collaborating, you're growing tenfold. And I think collaborations are mad important because of that. And I think also working with brands, and when brands are collaborating, they have their own CI, and then they meet another CI. Like Burger King has its own CI, Pepsi has its own CI, but then working with me, it's like completely creating my own like voice for both ideas and putting them together. It was cool. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he really changed my perspective on NFTs. He kind of said that it's working in a different medium, and it's a different like audience, it's a different group, it's an extension of what I do, because I mean I already make digital art, so why not just do it in a different context, you know? Just for me personally, I think this one project was super fun and it was super cool, and I think it would be great 10 years time to leave it as that, you know, like and be like, this is the only African ginger NFT one can ever get.